Amelia here. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching. Today I am giving you 10 tips for a successful show day. So I had an awesome show last weekend. I had like 6 horses there from, horses that it was their first time out. They were 5-year-olds. That was a little exciting, all the way up to trained Grand Prix horses. And so it's really fun to have that full spectrum. I think in my career, I've competed over 50 horses at 500 competitions. So I've shown a lot, and I have some tips and strategies to help you to get ready to show. Preparation is everything. So check out the link below if you want to sign up for my free 3-day mini course all about show prep. Again, check out the link below, or you can go to www.ameliasdressageacademy.com/show prep. So that's just some more information, a few emails and a few videos to help you get ready to show this season. Okay, so these are my 10 tips, and it was super fun at the show. I was like sitting in with my clients in the tack room. We were just kind of brainstorming tips and strategies and ideas to help you guys out with a successful show day. So here we go. So tip number 1 is to always plan extra time, because there's so many little things that you have to do and make sure that you have at the horse show. Like, you need to make sure you have your number. You need to figure out how long it takes to get you from the barn to the show arena, or from your trailer to the show arena. And then there's always little things that you forget, like fly spray or your gloves or your whip or whatever. So it's always good to have extra time. And that also is important so that you don't get stressed, because when you get stressed and anxious and in a hurry, your horse feels that energy and they pick up on it, and it makes them stressed and anxious. So tip number 1, plan extra time. Tip number 2 is hand walking in the morning. So I always like to plan a little extra time where I can get my horses out and hand walk them around the show grounds, or if you can, even around the warm-up or the competition arena in the morning. This really helps to just kind of get them familiar with, what everything looks like. Obviously school them the day before as well, but it's really good on show morning to get them out of their stall, kind of get a sense of how they are. If they're super chill and relaxed, or if they're crazy and hot, you might need to lunge a little bit. When I hand walk my horses, I'll link below a video about how I do it, but it's really important that it's controlled hand walking. So they're not like with their head straight up in the air, dragging you around, snorting. It's the purpose of hand walking them is to get them relaxed and focused. So I do things like ask them to lower their head, ask them to stop, maybe even back up, so that it's not a free-for-all where they're getting more and more anxious, but it's helping them to relax and see the surroundings, but understand that they still need to stay with me even when I'm hand walking them. Tip number 3 is to sit and visualize your test from start to finish before you get on. And believe me, I know how hard this is. So yesterday I was riding with Natasha, the Grand Prix Special, and that test is super hard and super complicated. It's hard to remember. And it's hard on show day because you have so many things you have to do, and you're in a hurry and you're rushed, and it's really hard to just find 10 minutes, go sit in a corner, get away from everyone and all the activity, and just visualize your test. Sometimes I like to sit where I can see the show arena, if that helps you, or if you need to walk through your test. When you visualize, it should take about as long as your test takes. And you really want to visualize like every corner, every short side, every breath you're going to take. So not just like A enter, X halt, C track left, diagonal, like go through your test fast like that. But when you visualize, it really needs to be like stride by stride, that you're feeling everything that's happening. Okay, tip number 4 is hope for the best and prepare for the worst. So you always want to hope for, like, you're going to have this beautiful ride and everything's going to be perfect and your horse is going to be with you. But you also need to be prepared and have a plan B for if things go wrong. So, for example, with one of the young horses that I had at the show, he was a little bit spooked by the judges and there was like some commotion back there. So I knew that he was probably going to be a little looky down there by the judges booth. So I had a plan B with him, which was, okay, if I go up the center line and he's just like really scared and nervous, I'm going to bend him a little. I'm going to put him in a little shoulder in. I might have to turn a little early or compromise a little bit on my center line, but it's more important that I just get him, keep him going, keep him moving, keep him bending, and get him past those areas where he's a little bit insecure. So that's important. Another example is if you're having trouble with, say, your right lead canter. What are you going to do if your horse takes the left lead canter? You need to have a plan in your mind of, okay, I'm going to quickly go to the trot and then try to pick up the canter again or whatever. So of course, always hope for the best. When you visualize your test, you're visualizing for that perfect test, but then you also need to have some idea of what to do if things don't go perfectly as planned. Tip number 5 is to set realistic expectations. So if it's your first show, if it's your horse's first show, basically if you just survive the show and get from X to X without falling off, you've done great. I think people put too much pressure on themselves and they expect it to be perfect the first time, and it never is going to be. Showing is something that it takes years and years, and it takes you have to make showing a habit or something that your horse becomes accustomed to before it is really good. So horses are creatures of habit. So the first time they go to a show, they don't understand what's going on or why they're in this new place and why there's all these people and why the judge is sitting up in the judge's booth. So it takes horses a while to get used to the routine of going to a show. So that's why it's really important that you set expectations that are realistic. If you have a more seasoned show horse, like Natasha, for example, she's 16, she's shown a lot, she's a Grand Prix horse, so I can expect that she's going to go in the ring, she's not going to spook at the judge, and then I can have different expectations that more have to do with okay, this little detail needs to get better, I want her passage to be better, I want this piaffe to be better. But with my young horses, for example, I was just super proud of them for getting in the show ring, for getting the test done, and I wasn't so worried about a little bobble here, a little spook there, a little tension here, because it was their first show ever. Tip number 6 is to stick to your routine. So it's really important that at home you establish a warm-up routine, something that you do every single day, and then do the same thing at the show. So do the same walk routine, do the same trot, canter, trot warm-up that you do at home at the show, because that helps to give your horse confidence and a sense of familiarity at the horse show. It's also really important in your warm-up that you focus on the basics. So focus on the rhythm, suppleness, connection, the base of the training scale. That's really the focus for your warm-up, and that's what gets your horse ready to be able to go in the show and do the movements that are required at the level. Tip number 7 is to give your horse confidence. This is so important. I can't stress it enough. And I was really trying last weekend to pet my horses, tell them, good boy, you're the best horse in the world, because it makes such a huge difference. At the horse show, the horses lose their confidence a little bit, just like we do. And so it's really important to remember that, to just be proud of your horse, pet them, tell them they're good, correct them, make a correction, get them in front of your leg, and then reward them. I think that is a huge takeaway. And one of my students, she was showing her 5-year-old who's only been here in the States for 3 months, and she was like, that's my goal, is to just give him confidence here at the horse show. So I think that's super important. Okay, tip number 8 is to make sure you get all of your boots off. So this has happened to me one time in the Grand Prix. My mom forgot to take my bell boots off, and the judge was really nice. She let me do my whole Grand Prix test, and then at the end she rang the bell and said, sorry, I have to eliminate you. You have your bell boots on. So it's really important to remember to take all of your boots off before you go down the center line. Tip number 9 is don't change how you ride when you go in the show ring. So it's really important that you ride the same in the warm-up as you do in the show ring. I see a lot of riders that they go in the show ring and suddenly they put more pressure on their horse, or they just freeze. They have frozen rider syndrome and they forget to breathe and make corrections and make a half halt and put your leg on. So it's really important to try to ride the same in the show ring as you do in the warm-up. I realize how hard this is, but that is the goal that you strive for. And it's really important, you know, like until you're at the Olympics, it's really all just schooling. So just go in the show ring, ride the pattern, school your horse, have fun. That brings me to tip number 10, which is probably the most important thing, which is to breathe, smile, and have fun. So at the end of the day, we are doing this for fun. We love our horses. We're proud of our horses, and it's really important to remember that on show day. Don't get so uptight and freaked out that it's just a miserable experience for you and your horse, because at the end of the day, there's really no pressure. It's just about giving your horse a good experience, giving yourself a good experience, and having fun and enjoying it. So comment below, let me know if these tips are helpful, and be sure to sign up for my show prep mini course. I also have a training level, a first level, and a second level masterclass, which are 10% off for this show season. So check out the link below if you want to sign up for one of my masterclasses, and those go into depth to really help you get ready for your show. So thanks for watching, and good luck this show season.